It's 5 o'clock Mountain Time. It's Thursday. That means it's time for Tom and Shane, business and politics. And here we are. And Tom in Bozeman, Montana. Shane in Kamloops, Canada. And today, Shane, we've got to talk about diversity, inclusion, and equity. Oh my God, the end of America as we know it, Shane.
Well, it would seem so with woke and the whole intervention of woke. It's tried to remove the meritocracy that you have and take out the most important facts of what makes capitalism in your country great. The
Mhm.
imagination, my two eyes or three eyes: innovation, imagination, and initiation. So
Yeah,
it's a battle of, do we decide on merit or on they?
yeah.
Whom, what, I, oh, me, you. I don't know.
Well, if we find the lowest common denominator, then we'll be the weakest nation on earth, Shane. It's that simple. As
That's
far
right.
as yeah, I mean that's what it is. I noticed they don't use DIE; they use DEI. So it encompasses people of different ages, races, ethnicities, abilities, disabilities, genders, religion, cultures, and sexual orientation. Die is more appropriate for if you're going to take all of those things into account. The one word it leaves out, Shane, is qualifications. That's the missing word.
Well, unless you look at it from another point of view, which is bigotry. Ever since you
Yeah.
and I started defining bigotry 2 years ago, that a bigot is a person who's intolerant of another person's point of view, all of a
Mhm.
sudden, someone must have listened to us from the woke side or the demolition party, because the definition under politics of diversity, you're going to love this: the
Mhm.
political and social policy of encouraging tolerance for people of different cultural and racial backgrounds. So diversity is a great way to replace bigotry and accuse the right of being, not interested in diversity.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean, diversity in business is qualified. Yeah.
Mhm.
The inclusion of people of different identities,
Mhm.
ethnicity, gender, age in the workforce. Diversity in marketing is marketing communications, targeting diverse groups, as we call it, demographics, and
Mhm.
supply side diversity is the use of diverse suppliers, which of course is what everyone's talking about. Do we
Mhm.
deal with China, or that can the world be diverse enough without supply diverse enough without China? So
Mhm.
it's one of these things it's all the semantics, as you like to say,
Yeah,
Dr. Tom.
it is semantics. Absolutely right. So, well, when we come down to it, the most glaring recent diversity, equity, and inquisition uh, is Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court. Joe Biden says, I'm gonna nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court. I don't care who's qualified. I don't care if there are more qualified people. And if she's the most qualified person, then more power to her. But if she's not, then why are we putting somebody on the highest court in the land simply because of the color of their skin and their sex?
Well, it gets into inclusion, which you wanted to talk about today. And,
Mm-hmm.
the social definition of inclusion is action taken to support people of different backgrounds sharing life together. Oh my God, does
Yeah.
that, like disability rights and education rights? Oh my goodness, does this, I mean, of course they're going to pick these words. They fall
Mm-hmm.
into what is an exclusive club of being
Mm-hmm.
able to identify themselves as secularists. Man is great, and even
Mm-hmm.
has the words to define how great it is when it comes to diversity and inclusion. Because
Yeah.
we can't keep saying racism and bigotry; it's not going to work. So
Mm-hmm.
this will work this time, because it's the same thing, but it's a synonym.
Yeah.
Similar words, but different.
Mm-hmm.
And amazing, because when you first sent it, I thought, oh, I gotta look at these definitions, because I want to be really,
I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, equality general,
Yeah.
is socially generally refers to the fact of being equal, of having the
Mhm,
same value, and specific context
mhm,
equality may refer to. So, then it redefines that under society and,
mhm.
egalitarianism and equal
Yeah.
opportunity and so forth. But, you find the one, the social
Mhm.
equality in which all people within a group have the same status. Like,
Yeah.
so all this is the woke is going semantic.
Well, it is. I mean, it's very simple, and I don't understand why people weren't outraged when Biden said, I'm gonna appoint a black woman to the Supreme Court." I mean, uh, as I said before, if she's the most qualified person available, more power to her. Put her on the court. But I
Oh,
think she.
there's more people as equally or even more qualified than her.
Well, there
But it's
are.
like, it's like Obama appointing Simona Simonyor or whatever. She was a lawyer in the White House that he seemed to take a
Mhm.
liking to. So he appoints her to the Supreme Court, and she's never been a judge. And then it
Yeah.
turns out, oh no,
Mhm.
she's not exactly a lawyer.
Yeah.
She's
She's,
she's more
well,
like a legal aid.
yeah,
She's
well,
a legal aid.
you don't have to be a lawyer to be on the Supreme Court.
I realize that, but
Yeah.
but
Well, many people may not know that, but
oh,
you
okay.
don't.
Well, so
You
do I.
don't. Yeah, you don't
I
have to
think
be
it
a
would be.
lawyer.
I think it'd be synonymous with the 21st century. They at least be a lawyer.
Well, you would think so, but well, let's move on, Shane.
Okay.
What qualifies a small town Indiana mayor to be the Secretary of Transportation?
Oh, that's a good. Oh, that's a good one.
Could
He's
it be
got
he's gay?
no, no, no. That's not it. He's diverse. He's gay, yes, and married,
Well, yeah.
but the children they have are diverse. One they're both adopted,
Mhm,
and they're non-white, and one's Asian and one's a mulatto mixture
mhm.
of African and others. And so it qualifies because of the state he's from, and of course the state of how he lives.
Wouldn't it? I think maybe somebody who built highways might be qualified, or somebody who built bridges or railroads or something, or had some kind of at least an engineer. Wouldn't you have an engineer at least?
Actually, with you're absolutely right. I know the purview of the this department is basically
Mhm,
overseeing it because it's all been regulated for since
mhm,
1955 when Eisenhower set it up.
mhm.
But the bottom line is how do you deal with issues? How do you solve problems? And it's incredible the American people, and I didn't know how many train accidents there are in both our countries
Yeah,
every year, and they're over 100.
there are a lot of
And
them. Yeah.
you would think that that would be a priority of the Secretary of Transportation. He doesn't want planes colliding, so or running
No.
off the runway, so to speak. So why
Well,
why would
he's also had a problem there too.
I know that's why I bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, well, come on now. We all know it's Trump's fault for deregulating railroads and taking all the safety things off. So it's his fault.
Yeah.
So you got to go. You got to go there. So
But he didn't do that without congressional consent.
I was
So
going to say, yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he's not a dictator.
No,
So at least not yet.
no, no.
Anyway. Also, what qualifies Sam Britton to be a nuclear waste guru other than he's an accomplished non-binary luggage thief?
Well, and that's why this one's really difficult because
I know.
the International Atomic Energy Agency, is all over Ukraine because they've got the largest nuclear
Mhm,
power plant in let's see, the
mhm,
southeastern part of the country under Russian control. And no one wants it to turn into a nuclear disaster, and
mhm,
so you don't even have someone that's qualified to deal with this. Although
mhm.
it's really the Department of Energy that oversees all the nuclear stuff, so I shouldn't bring that up.
Yeah, it's not. Well, the point is, what's this guy's resume besides he's a snappy dresser with stolen clothes?
I don't know if he qualifies as a snappy dresser. I haven't taken a liking to any of the photos that I've seen. They're all the
Mhm.
same. But he's gone now, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's
I mean, he's been
he has his
charged.
own. He's been charged. He has his own problems. So
Yeah, he's been found guilty in
yeah.
in Texas for it, and somewhere else he's going to
Well,
court for it.
Minneapolis, he did some stuff there, and then he appears on camera wearing the stolen stuff,
Yeah,
and the stolen person recognizes their designer
from
stuff.
Africa.
Yeah,
From I mean, that's how amazing this is.
I know.
That's how global the social network is.
Wait a
Is
minute,
you know,
that's my dress.
yeah.
All right.
A woman from Uganda. Hey, wait, I'm
Yeah,
and someone. I never got my luggage. That guy stole my luggage.
yeah. So there you are. So it's just that's how it works. So. Well, another question is this could have been done 20 years ago. George Bush nominated a black woman to the Supreme Court. So the question is, Shane, why is Janice Rogers Brown not on the Supreme Court? And if I could spell on correctly, it would really be helpful.
Well, I guess you just didn't get the votes there, big guy. There is a process, and people
Mhm.
do have to nominate and question them, and then decide and vote on it. And she didn't get the votes.
Well, we know why she didn't get the votes because Biden filibustered her. So did Schumer.
Hmm.
She was for getting rid of affirmative action and she was against abortion. And so being black, not good enough. So not what I don't want you
Oh, now
anywhere
wait a minute.
near the Supreme Court.
Hey, listen. You said last week this is one of those black women they're going to vote for Camilla. They're all in on
Well,
Camilla.
I don't know who she's going to vote for, but 70% of the black women like Kamala. So Kamala, I should pronounce her name correctly.
I'm sorry, Kamala.
Right. Yeah. Well, Brown argued that where government moves in, community retreats, civil society disintegrates, and our ability to control our own destiny atrophies. And that's why Janice Rogers Brown, a qualified black judge, is not on the Supreme Court, thanks to Biden, Schumer, and Leahy, and all the others that filibustered against her.
Well, Thomas wouldn't be on the court. They tried to do the same thing to him. So
Exactly. Yeah. Because he didn't fit the narrative. He didn't
he
fit
didn't.
the,
That's right.
yeah. Well,
Conservative black judge.
yeah.
Whoa.
Well, they did the same thing to Miguel Estrada, a Hispanic judge, and Ted Kennedy. His staff wrote, "There's no way we're going to have an Hispanic on the Supreme Court. That's not going to happen."
Yeah, that's right. But I can drive off a bridge and kill someone, and then
Yeah,
I can be I can be the lion of the Senate. I mean,
and I can
you know,
run for president. So
that's right.
absolutely.
Disney made that movie,
Hmm.
because of the lion of the Senate,
Yeah. Well, once again,
the Lion King.
yeah, once again, Biden said, "I will nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court." So that's where we find ourselves.
That's right.
Qualifications don't matter. Your experience doesn't matter. Your resume doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your lifestyle and the color of your skin. So otherwise, you need not apply.
Well, and the interesting aspect too to this is that the most likely judges on the Supreme Court to leave, are the Chief Justice Thomas and Alito. And two white, one black,
Hmm.
all conservative, older men.
Hmm.
So this becomes one of those things where how does this come about? Because they'll be gone in the next 10 years, but
Hmm. Yeah.
it it remains to be seen what the likelihood is, if even if you assume the Republicans take the House, the Senate.
Hmm.
It doesn't necessarily mean the person they nominate gets the votes in the Senate. You need
Hmm.
66, right? So,
Not for Supreme Court.
or 60, right?
No, not for Supreme Court. 50.
Oh,
Got to
51
have a
majority,
majority. Yeah. Got to have
51. Okay.
yeah. I think it should be 60. I would be for that for the Supreme Court because I think you got to have some compromise in there. And
Well, yeah,
yeah,
unless one party has a huge majority like that, but
well, yeah,
it should be bipartisan. It shouldn't be
mhm,
partisan. I would agree.
yeah. Well, most of the votes these days are partisan votes. I mean, whatever comes up seems to be, at least in the Senate and the House.
Well, that's the only buy thing that the Democrats don't like is being, you know,
Mhm,
you know, reasonable with within politics, and
mhm,
it's one of
mhm.
those odd things that you see that they don't identify with. There you
Yeah.
go.
Well, I think I'm glad we're getting this done now. I'm glad we're getting affirmative action out of the way, Roe v. Wade out of the way, the the designer for a same-sex website out of the way, and the what was the other one? Uh, what was the other Supreme Court thing? I'm forgetting.
Birth control,
No, it wasn't birth control. No, I don't know.
free.
I'll
Well,
remember it.
free speech. Oh, you mean this last week when we were
Yeah,
talking about it?
yeah.
Oh,
They three decisions. We just talked about them on Tuesday.
yeah, right.
But anyway, thanks to Donald Trump that we got those three things done and out of here because um, I think 24 is going to be a very sad day for the Republican Party in November of 24 because I mean there are way too many things that are going to be at the top of the list for Democrats to vote on, and not much for the Republicans to vote on.
Well, yeah, the demolition party is certainly hoping so, and agree with you,
Mhm,
because then they think that would cause a split in the Republican Party, and
mhm,
a three-party system would then guarantee
mhm.
them forever control, right?
Yeah. Well, there is the No Labels Party that's making an inroad. They're coming up and making some noise. So we may have three parties on the ballot
Well,
again.
the only way you could have three parties on the ballots is a billionaire picks it up, because you need huge amount of money to launch a new
Mhm,
party and register in all the states, and all,
mhm,
and Bloomberg tried it, and he blew $1.2 billion, but
mhm.
he was just a bad candidate on top of it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. If there's an alternative to Trump and Biden, assuming Biden does run and the DNC has put their full faith and dollars and whatever behind him. So if he does run, a third party alternative to Trump and Biden might be something that people want to talk about.
It has been historically in your country. It hasn't worked. The last
Well, it
time
hasn't worked, but
the
doesn't mean
last
it.
time the last time
Mhm,
that situation sort of evolved was in the first 20-30 years of your country, back between 1882 and or
Well,
1782
what
and
about Clinton, Bush, and Ross Perot?
no, I'm just saying where there was a period in your republic where there
Hmm.
were more than two parties, is
Yeah.
that there were actually more than two parties.
Well, you have six parties in Canada.
Yeah, but we're it's not the same as it's you're bicameral, we're not.
Okay.
We're unicameral, and
Yeah.
we just have a House of Commons, and then whoever can create a majority, whether it's
Yeah.
negotiating with someone else because you have a minority and you need their votes
Hmm.
to run it, or
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
that's yeah, that's it's not really played a big been a big issue except in
Hmm.
this last election, and it's
Hmm.
sad because the one party, the NDP,
Hmm.
that has tried so hard to be a kingmaker, ends up supporting a dwarf.
Yeah. Well, when Bush and Perot and Clinton ran, nobody got 50% of the vote. We were we were governed by a minority for the first 4 years of Clinton.
Well, that's true, but that's also because up until 2016, it, you didn't have more than 42% of the electorate. you know, and
Mhm.
enlightened or allowed to vote, vote. And
Well,
you know, it wasn't
but
until
but but there was still 50% of the vote went to somebody, even if it was 10 votes.
of those that voting that
Yeah.
voted, but of the 140 million people eligible, only
Mhm.
45 million voted. So yeah,
Mhm.
they got 50% of 45 million in the states they needed to take to win the electoral college. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but Clinton won with 44, so
Hmm.
of all the votes. So that's
Yeah,
what I mean. That we had a minority directing the country for the
that's
first
right.
time in my
Yeah,
lifetime, anyway.
that's right.
So yeah. So well, anyway, getting back to our topic: diversity, equity, and inclusion. I don't know.
Well,
Uh,
it all
yeah,
fits a social agenda
yeah.
with new topics. So we're not going to
Mhm,
talk about racism and
mhm,
black people. We're going to talk about uh, you know, the gay community and transgenders, and create, you know, a backstop to
mhm,
bigotry. You know, we're going to talk about diversity in
mhm,
all areas of the country, the economy and living places and everything else.
mhm. Yeah. Well, we do. We have a very diverse country, as you do in Canada, of course. Nobody's disputing that. But I, I, this, this where we decide on, like the affirmative action in colleges, we got to have so many of this person and so many of that person. Well, what about the Eskimos? What about the Samoans? What about where's their equal day? Where's their 14th Amendment equal justice under the law? I mean, where do we draw the line on this? You have to be handicapped and black and gay or transgender or, blind to get to, to be hired somewhere because I've got to fill this quota that the government won't subsidize me if I don't if I don't hire the right people. Is that the country we want to live in?
Well, apparently, I mean, that's
Yeah.
the choice. That's the choices that are being made, right?
Well, according to the whatever with what's his with the Democrats, it is.
That's right. It's rather
Yeah.
strange, isn't it?
Well, remember Mitt Romney had a whole binder full of women. He took a lot of abuse for that.
That's right. And you look at it and you go, how is that possible?
Yeah. Well, why didn't anybody jump on Biden for Kadichi Brown Jackson?
Yeah, it's a wild reality, and you
Yeah.
look at it,
Mhm.
and it's like,
Yeah.
how do people come to terms with the choices they make? But then
Yeah.
again, Thomas,
Mhm.
you know, anytime you're out, I mean,
Mhm.
you've seen on YouTube and other social media the series of pictures that come out every year of people and how they dress going to Walmart, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And so when you're out and about, like I was today,
Mm.
I got a nice shave, I got my
Yeah.
hair cut, and you know, and I'm
Mhm.
walking around and I see people, and it's like, don't they look at themselves in the mirror before they go out? Like, don't do they? I mean, do they really not, you know, get it? Like,
Yeah.
it's remarkable reality. It is.
Yeah. Well, I don't know which party that is. Here it's Democrats. They do look in the mirror and they say, "Hey, plaid pants, striped shirt, I'm ready. I'm
Yeah,
ready to
right.
go.
There you
I,
go,
I
buddy.
look
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I'm ready for the road.
Here I go." And if anybody says anything to me about my gender of dress, they're going to get it. So
Well,
I don't know.
you will now.
Yeah.
That's because people aren't shamed. There's no shame left in society.
No, no,
So there
no
was a
way.
time when we were growing up and being
Mhm.
taught by our parents. We learned about right and wrong. We learned about shame. And we
Mhm.
learned about tolerance,
Yeah.
and we learned about the things
Mhm.
that make a society certainly to appear
Mhm.
fair, but in
Mhm.
you know, in no uncertain terms, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness were equally applied.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I don't know that anything is equally applied anymore. That's the I I don't know. If there was shame in America, we wouldn't be on. So I don't know. So we're
I don't think
or
so.
Canada, either one. So I
I
don't know.
think we're good.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've ever shamed anyone, but
Well, that's true. Well, as long as you don't use the wrong pronouns there in Canada, you'll be fine.
that's right.
So,
Yeah, there's
otherwise,
yeah.
you'll be doing this from jail.
That would be unique, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like
maybe we should do that. Maybe you should call Perot, tell him we'll be on, and we'll use every wrong pronoun we can.
sure.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you can tell him, hey, you're not allowed. You're not. Your pronouns aren't your own. Your adjectives aren't your own, and whatever your verbs aren't your own or adverbs or whatever. Don't come to me with your problems. So
Well, that's what you're left with, right? I mean,
well, yeah,
you
well,
start the day out, and you
yeah,
go,
mhm,
"Oh my gosh, I'm alive. Okay, I got another day. Here we go."
yeah,
And then you go, and you've got this list of things to do,
yeah,
and you apply yourself to all of them. I mean, we're retired, so we're looking for things to do.
yeah,
uh, People
mhm,
like my children. I
yeah,
mean, they work
mhm,
7 by 24 because they love the work they do.
yeah.
They love what they're doing. So
All right.
between that and their
Mhm,
personal life and their social life,
mhm,
the 4 or 5 hours they get is
yeah.
they're
Enough.
lucky. Yeah, they're lucky.
All right. Well, before we go, I got a thing in the email the other day, and I got to show you this, Shane. I It's hard to believe, but um, it's Biden merchandise, and I want to show you this and our viewers this Biden merchandise. At first, I thought it was a total scam, So anyway, I click on the go shopping, and it goes over, and yeah, they've got a place where you can donate 5, 10, 20, $50 to Biden and everybody. But I want to show you the merchandise that's available. They have T-shirts and coffee mugs, and
Mhm, mhm.
for the people listening to our audio of this, you can't see it. You might want to click on the video link in our podcast replays so that you can come over and see this. But I don't know if the red eyes are from the cocaine, Shane, or what. But I,
Uh,
I'm tempted to buy one of these just to find out if it's real or not, or if it's from some scam site.
well, if they're
But
going to redact something, you'd think it'd be his nose because of his sniffing,
oh, you
or
think
or
so?
you
But
think it would be his
yeah,
mouth because of his gaffes.
yeah,
Or you think they would, his legs because he can't walk or climb stairs. So
yeah,
it's sort of like a redaction by the CIA. Oh,
yeah.
yeah, it's for real, baby.
Well, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, by all means, this is the perfect opportunity to do it. Hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. You'll always be notified whenever we are on, no matter what time zone you're in, no matter where in the world you are. Like us, leave a comment. Let us know if you like this kind of silly banter and empty space. We'll be happy to recreate it for you. So let us know what you think and what you like or don't like about the show. We're happy to. We have a pretty thick skin, so we won't be insulted if you don't like us. Also, I got to remind you, we're live on radio every Saturday, 8 to 11. You can hear us anywhere in the world at kmmsam.com. Kmmsam.com. Don't forget the AM. Click listen now. That's all you got to do. There's no sign up. There's no nothing to join. There's nothing for sale. All you get is conversation between us, the listeners, the callers, the texters. You can text our show. You can call our show. And we have quite a good time for 3 hours every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 Mountain Time. So make sure that you check that out. If you'd like to know what we do on our Saturday show, you can hear replays at kmmsam.com. Just click on Tom and Shane's podcast, and you'll get our video and audio replays there as well. So, I mean, it's a perfect world,
It
Shane.
is. and we're lucky to live in it, and
Amen.
boy, that's one thing I'm grateful for every day is knowing where I live is like the best.
That's right. Two best country clubs in the world, as you rightly point out, on a
That's right.
regular basis, I should say.
Yeah, that's right. The
All
two
right.
greatest country clubs in the. Oh, there. Okay, go.
Well, I was just going to say we're here every Tuesday and Thursday, 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the notification bell, and like us and leave a comment because, well, we like that kind of stuff, And so, final thought, Shane?
It's always a pleasure being with you, my BFF. So,
Yeah.
if you're going to try out Threads, let us know what you think of it because
Mhm.
the kibosh is on. It's Zuckerman and Musk now, not just hand and foot in a cage, but on social network with Twitter and
And threads.
Threads. So we'll
Yeah.
see how this works out. It'll be interesting to see the effect it has,
Mhm.
on the other networks that came up
Yeah.
as a result of what happened at Twitter, the last four
Yeah.
years, and
Mhm.
because there's like four or five of them, and they
Oh,
own
yeah.
Facebook owns, isn't it, Snapchat or something?
It owns Instagram,
Instagram,
which
Snapchat
is,
is
yeah.
Microsoft. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Instagram is where your threads will be.
yeah.
So
That's
I
right.
downloaded threads today, this morning,
Yeah,
in
did
fact.
you? Yeah.
Yep.
When I first heard that
I'm
this
already
morning, I
hooked.
thought, like, someone's been looking in my closet at my clothing. Like, what's going on here? Because, that's what the word threads in our generation was clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice threads, baby.
Amen. Yeah. Dating ourselves here. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
right.
all right. So, all right. That's going to wrap it up for us. Thanks for watching, everyone. We really appreciate you so much. Don't forget Saturday radio, 8 to 11 Mountain Time, KMMSAM.com. It's going across the scroll on the bottom of your screen. Write it down, learn it, love it, live it. And we will see you on our next podcast next Tuesday. And we will talk to you on the radio on Saturday morning. Bye for now.